All right, my panelists all set?
We're there.
Excellent, excellent. I think we'll get going, and I'm sure others are going to be jumping on, but we've got a good group right now. So first, I want to say thank you to everyone for attending. Let me just fix one thing. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. I think that helped. I want to welcome everyone for attending. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us at Ring's End. I want to introduce my fellow panelists. I'm very flattered that they've agreed to do this with me. This is all of us trying to be creative in today's new world of quarantine and staying safe. But we're trying to make something kind of show off some projects that we've done together and highlight some really cool products that we're going to be talking about today, that being Thermory. But first, I'd just like to, I believe everyone can see my three colleagues to my right. We have Kurth from Kurth Architects. We have Tom Yarosek from Legacy Construction. And we also have Kevin Demars from Thermory, all here to share their stories and kind of show off what they've done in conjunction with us at Ring's End. And we really want to make this as informal as possible. We're going to have a Q&A at the end, so please use the chat function at the bottom of the screen. Even if it's during the presentation, I'll be happy to monitor that the best I can. But we're also going to end with a nice live job site tour. Carol and Tom are live at the job site that we're going to be showing off in the photos as well. But the homeowner, who I believe is actually listening as well, we thank them from the bottom of our hearts to give us permission to do this. That's a really big deal. It's very generous of you. So thank you to them. But we will get going. Let me just share my screen. My panelists confirm that they can see everything okay? Everything?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Great, great, great. All right, let me just grab one thing here. Okay. So today we are talking about modern design with modern materials. We're going to have a little bit of product knowledge. We're going to show off a case study, and then, like I mentioned, we're going to have a live job site tour. So today our talented group of panelists will be sharing their experience with modern design and modern materials. We'll discuss some natural products that create warm and inviting lines when creating temporary designs. Thermory is a brand that has taken off in North America, and today's speakers will all tell us why. We also plan to discuss the product's unique manufacturing process, the technology behind it, and why this brand is so durable, stable, sustainable, and as well as stunning. Let's see. Let me change my format here. Hold on, guys. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. First, like I mentioned, I'd like to introduce Carol Kurth, FAIA, ASID. Carol Kurth, ASID, FAIA is an award-winning licensed architect and interior designer and principal of Carol Kurth Architecture and Interiors. Carol's distinguished and award-winning body of residential and commercial work is notable for its elegant and imaginative integration of site, form, structure, and materials. Through the lens of design, Carol Kurth brings an architect's eye with a unique and modern viewpoint to the design industry. Let's see, hold on a second. Carol is passionate about creating distinctive architecture that layers modernism with traditional elements and textures. Taking inspiration from nature and the built environment, her design vision integrates all scales, landscapes, building forms, interiors, and product design. Her multidisciplinary expertise and active engagement from conception through construction administration, interior design, and art curation bring a cohesive design vision throughout the process. A popular keynote speaker, Carol is also sought after by the media for her insights on architecture, interior design, sustainability, and design trends. Her work has won numerous design awards and has been featured in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and National Shelter publications. A native New Yorker, Carol was born and raised in the scenic New York City Hudson Heights neighborhood of Manhattan. She's inspired by both the layered urban backdrops of the city and the quiet, natural surroundings of Westchester, where her studio has been located for more than 3 decades. Her diverse portfolio of places to live, work, and play embodies an inventive spirit, creative transformative backdrops for living, and inspirations for luxury lifestyle. Sorry guys, we're trying to, there we go. Sorry about that. Mr. Yarosek. Tom from Legacy Construction Northeast brings 25 years of custom home building experience to Legacy and is known for his patience, leadership, and ability to complete some of the most intricately crafted architectural projects. He's passionate and knowledgeable, and any project he undertakes becomes a personal journey where the client, architect, and builder become one team in creating the best possible outcome. With a constant focus on staying current with industry changes and standards, Tom participates regularly in continuing ed opportunities. Tom is also a certified green builder through the National Association of Home Builders and holds a Bachelor of Science in Construction Management from Purdue University. And just as a side note, Tom and Carol have been working together and doing projects together for about 15 years. And we hope that that continues to make masterpieces.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
All right. And last but not least, Kevin Demars. Kevin Demars is the principal and wizard of light bulb moments for Thermory USA. Thermory has been in business globally since 1997. And in 2012, Kevin, with his business partner, Mark Challenor, founded Thermory USA, bringing over 20 years of industry experience to the endeavor. With his educational background in wood science and lumber manufacturing from SUNY Morrisville and his commitment to surrounding himself with talented team members, Kevin has pushed exponential growth for Thermory USA since day one. In fact, the categorical recognition of thermally modified wood within the industry is largely due to the recent growth and brand recognition of Thermory. Wow, well that is one of the best sets of resumes I've ever heard. I don't know if you can all agree with that. I'm going to hand it over to Kevin to go through basically the story behind Thermory. Not sure how many of you have heard of Thermory. I'm not sure how many of you are currently specifying or entertaining specifying Thermory. I know there's definitely some on the panel, someone that are attending right now that are actually specifying it as we speak. So thank you for your business. Thank you for those of you that have already used it. But those of you that have not, here's your moment to learn. So we're going to let Kevin take over, and I will advance his slides for him.
So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So what I'd like to discuss real quick is probably take me about 10 minutes maybe, nice and quick and easy. I want to talk about who we are as a company. I'll touch on our sustainability, our modification process. I'll go through our 2 main series, which are Benchmark series and our Rebel series products. I'll go over some of our installation hardware and systems and benefits, and really quick touch on our post-installation care and maintenance as well. Who are we as a company? Thermory is driven by a desire to lead the industry in innovation and efficiency. We strive to offer reliable solutions through a deep understanding of our process, products, and the needs of our customers. Go to the next slide.
Yep, sorry.
We focus on delivering superior quality, and we've done so for over 20 years now. The products we specialize in are decking, cladding, and porch flooring. Our sustainability. We're committed to being sustainable. We carefully source and select our raw materials in order to preserve forests through diverse global sourcing. Our boards are thermally modified in Estonia, where our factory is, then shipped to the US by water, which is roughly 10 times more efficient than trucks. Our white ash comes from North America and also Northern Europe, but mostly Northern Europe at this point. Our spruce and Scots pine species come from Scandinavia, which is just across the Baltic Sea from Estonia. Thermal modification process. This process, it's one of a kind. We naturally enhance each board with heat and steam. There's no added chemicals at all whatsoever. Each batch is processed at approximately 400 degrees Fahrenheit, resulting in increased stability, superior rot resistance, and a naturally deepened color throughout the entire thickness of the board. Go to the next slide. Our benchmark series. This is our foundational core of products that are highly functional yet beautiful and simple. Each board sets the bar for longevity and rot resistance for real wood products. The first species that we'll talk about is white ash. The ash is superior to tropical wood and comparable in aesthetic and durability. It's natural exotic brown color, and it's knot free on one face of every single board we ship, and it looks similar to most exotic species. It has a class 1 durability, meaning 25 years or more of rot resistance, which is the highest classification of rot resistance you can achieve with a wood product. Our Scots pine, which is the other product that's the other species that's used in our benchmark series, it's superior to cedar and comparable in color and durability. Natural golden brown color with distinctive sound tight knots, has class 2 durability with 20 years or more of rot resistance. Go to the next slide. So our ash profiles here, we do decking, cladding, porch flooring. We have a myriad of different sizes and widths and a few different attachment ways to attach the product. Those are decking products that we see there. We can go to the next slide. On the left there, that's our PAX cladding. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. There's also our porch flooring. And then you have 2x4, 2x6, and 1x8 for trim boards, rails, balusters, and things, custom milling. And our Scots pine, again, a few different sizes and offerings for decking. We do a side groove. We also do the decking in a PAX groove as well. And also some tongue and groove options, and then 2x4, 2x6, and 1x6 for trim pieces, handrails, and custom milling and things as well. So our Rebel series. This is going to offer a bold look from daring finishes to striking textures without sacrificing performance. We'll talk about the spruce, which is the foundational species for the Rebel series. You can go to the next slide. It's superior to cedar, but comparable in color and durability again. It has a natural golden brown color with distinctive knots and no visible sapwood. The spruce has a class 1 durability as opposed to the pine being class 2. And again, class 1 being the same as ash has a 25 years or more of rot resistance. The first series we'll talk about in the Rebel series is the Drift series. This offers a reclaimed wood without the unknowns. It's brushed and stained for a weathered look and has high dimensional stability. It's a cladding product. We offer a few different colors there. It's largely a 1x8 and the C15 profile, which is a nice little, just a slightly rounded over edge at the seams. The next product, this is one of my favorites. This is our Ignite series. This mimics a traditional Shukiban charred wood appearance using a deceptively flame-free process. Each spruce board is embossed and brushed, then tinted black to complete the look. So this has the appearance of a charred look that you'd like without the messy charcoal residue. It still has the benefits of the rot resistance and stability that's accustomed to Thermory. It's good for outdoors and indoors. And the paint durability is about 5 years, which is going to be a little bit longer than a standard Shoshone product. You can retouch it or repaint it with a black ash by Q-Tech, which is an oil that we stand behind, or you can use a paint of your choice as well. Next is Kodiak. This line offers a natural look and feel with impressive size and unequal durability. The spruce boards have a brushed texture to create ruggedness without sacrificing the refined look. Each board retains its natural appeal, while the extra size allows for faster installation. What's neat about one of the things I like about the decking is that it's, as a deck board, is a 5/4 by 8 wide deck board, you can actually use a hidden fastener, which with most decking products, that's unknown. So it's a tribute to the stability of our product. You can use a hidden fastener with a 5/4/8 deck board, which is pretty exciting and neat. I'll touch on some installation hardware. We've developed installation methods that offer solutions to some of the industry's most pervasive problems. Our methods allow for efficient installation and ensure long-term product performance. If you want to go back, just go back one slide there, Maria, I'll touch on this. So what we see there is on the left side of the screen is some of the different hidden fasteners that are specific to different products. The one in the middle there, that's for the pine and the Kodiak, and then we got the stainless steel screws that are also used for cladding and decking options as well. Some features with our product that are relatively unique is one is our gem joints. All of our ash products, and I believe some of our pine and spruce products, come with that gem joint. Gem stands for joint end match. You don't have to rest the ends of the board on a joist or furring strip, which reduces a significant amount of waste and installation time. On the bottom there, we see installation beads, which is specific to porch flooring. And those beads are designed to crush themselves in the event that the porch flooring needs to expand. So that helps keep the porch flooring flat, prevent buckling and warping in the event of expansion, which is typical on a porch application. And then our PAX system, which is known as just the PAX stands for press and click strip. So that furring strip comes with the clips pre-installed, and the furring strips go on the wall. That furring strip is manufactured with a marine grade Baltic birch, and provides a breathing space and drainage plane behind the cladding, and then allows for exceptionally fast installation as well. On the next page, for a more conventional installation, you can go to the next page again, Maria. A product that we found to work very well with the product is Corex furring strips. So this is a standard furring strip, basically, that's used for a more conventional installation where someone doesn't want to use the PAX system. This prevents trapped moisture, helps resist warping and splitting and mold and mildew that can be common with a standard pine furring strip. Helps extend the life of your cladding, providing proper ventilation.
I'm going to go back one, Kevin, or forward?
You can go forward.
Okay.
And just real quick on some maintenance and care, it's important to remember that Thermory boards are maintenance free if you want to let the product go gray. I say maintenance free, typically, nothing is truly maintenance free, but if you want to let the product turn gray, there's really nothing more you need to do than to just keep the product cleaned once in a while. With siding, cladding, that's not as important, but with a deck board, a deck product, you want to at least hose it off and broom it off once in a while and keep dirt, debris, pine needles, and things off the surface. For those who want to help preserve the original color of the wood, we recommend using Q-Tech products. And Q-Tech Extreme Clear, that moisturizes the wood, minimizes warping, cupping, and splitting. You can add color tones, which provide the UV protection, comes in a variety of colors. You can also use Q-Tech Pro Clean, which rejuvenates the color of the wood, brings it back to brand new.
I believe Tom and Carol are going to talk about what they used on their product as well, project.
Yes.
And lastly, Thermory is always pushing the envelope to become more cutting edge and innovative. After over 20 years and nearly 1 billion square feet of unequaled product installed over the globe, we truly hope to change the way you think about wood. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I guess our next segment is the case studies. Carol and Tom, I believe, Carol, you might want to dictate your experience as we advance through the slides, and you can tell me when to flip forward.
Sure. We had the privilege of working with the most amazing clients and the most incredible team of collaborators from Legacy Construction, Laura Bond Interior Design, and Om van Sweden on the landscape architecture as well as E2 engineering, and so many talented subcontractors on this project. So this is truly a collaborative effort. And I have to, of course, mention my co-pilot, John Rapetti, amazing designer and talent who has been so important and integral in this project. So when we were having the vision for the Tango House, from an architectural standpoint, one of the main spaces, and maybe move on to the next slide, I'm not sure if it's in this sequence or not, but there we go, is the Tango Room, which had a curved, still does, has a curved, gorgeous ceiling. And in the design and sourcing for materials, it's always one of those things, you know, does the material inspire design, or does the design inspire material, and how do you find the right material for a project? And Maria from Rings End had come into my office and said she had the most amazing product. She just knew that I'd have a project that would work. And I just jumped on it and said, oh my God, this is what we've been looking for. Something that we can create durability, crisp corners, come up with detailing that was really going to have a modern effect, and something that would work in a horizontal design detail. So the Thermory presented itself. Maria was there at that magic moment, and we were off and running with looking at how that material would transform this design and clad the forms of this great project. Okay, we can advance to the next one. So you can see there's a combination of materials. In addition to the Thermory product, we have some, I'll call it a concrete stucco combination, and also some zinc paneling. So we were working with multiple materials here, and the Thermory wood really is the backdrop and the anchor for all of the other materials so that they stand out against it. Next. So I know Tom from Legacy Construction is going to speak to some of these details, and he and PJ, his co-pilot, worked tirelessly to make these details a reality. So we have these forms, and there's a lot of precision involved, both in the design and detailing and the dimensioning, as well as the execution, to make this actually all work out, to have what I'll call the perfect corner. We had an amazing siding subcontractor on this project, who also hand in hand, Chris Burry of Vermauer, his work's impeccable. With the leadership of Legacy, and this team really pulled it together. We use the material not only on the cladding, but also on horizontal surfaces for the decking. We love the systems that we were able to integrate with the clip-on panels and mitered corners. We can advance. We used it in railing caps. We used it in deck systems. Keep going. And here you can see, you know, just how the layering of the forms and how precise that Thermory detailing really makes the house very crisp, very beautiful, very organic too. So this is a view of the front door, custom front door. The approach to the house is across this lovely, beautiful walkway that spans right over the reflecting pool. You can actually see the house reflected in that when the sun is just right. Here's the famous Tango Room, and our beautiful tango dancers, our fantastically talented clients. Here we actually have walnut that replicated the look of the Thermory, so we were trying to transform this indoor-outdoor effect so that it looked like the exterior siding actually penetrated to the interior, but with a little bit more of a refined effect. And this is a curved ceiling, which is no easy feat to accomplish. And we have this beautiful suspended, what I'll call a light cloud of these bocce pendants. Worked really hard with 100 Mile, which is a sourcing supplier for them. And then we have this great piece of art by Cindy Press, which is a custom tango dancer piece. And Laura Bond selected these beautiful furnishings, just so minimalist and just so perfect for this room, in this space. some gorgeous flooring from Hudson Floors, and the gorgeous workmanship by Legacy.
I think all we're missing, Carol, is the tango music.
Yeah, I think we should have put that on. Next presentation, that's a good idea.
Right?
This was our first experience with the product, and we kind of had a little, we weren't sure how it was going to come together and work, having never had our hands on it before. So, knowing that we wanted to have these crisp mitered corners and the experience that we've had with other woods, exterior woods, it's always been a challenge to keep those miters together, and they look good on day one, and somehow they can pull apart over the years or over with the weathering. So it was a concern of ours on how we could do this, and after speaking with Thermory and Maria, we got samples of the product, and we were able to test some out on the site, and the pack system that Kevin was describing is an amazing system. I mean, it all comes down to the substrate that you're putting this wood on, and making sure that, like anything, the foundation is appropriate and is perfect. And these pack strips with the clips on the Moretti, the layout in that was the time-consuming part, and getting those all lined and in place. And they create a drainage plane behind the wood, create breathing behind the wood, and they also allow for perfect installation. And what most importantly they allow for is for the system to move on the house as the sun hits it and the elements hit it, and it expands and contracts. It actually moves slightly along these tracks, so it's not fastened tightly to any structure of the house perfectly. It's on these plastic clips that allow it to slide. So I think that's what's allowed. We'll take you around and show you some of the corners that are 3 years old on this house, and look like the day we put them in. I think it has to do with this, the system that it's applied to, and how it's able to move slightly on the house and not tear apart that corner when it moves. So that was a big plus to realize that, and to their claims of the system working well are definitely come true over on this job site. And again, we've used this product on this site on 2 different buildings on the site. We've used it as siding, tongue and groove siding. We've used it as decking panels on pedestals, fencing. We've used it as railing caps, as Carol mentioned, as trim boards, 1x6, 1x8 materials. And then, we were impressed with how the material cuts, how it works. We've worked with iPay and other hardwoods, exterior woods, and it's been a challenge sometimes to cut those woods, but this the Thermory was much more forgiving, a little bit easier to work with, I would say. We did use the Q-Tech stain. We got it stained from before it was delivered. It was stained. It arrived with a coat or 2 coats of stain on it. We've since put an additional coat on it since it's been on the house, since it's been installed. And we've used the Q-Tech Extreme, like Kevin was mentioning. That seemed to be. We did test out other products on some boards that were untreated, and we found that the Q-Tech definitely held up the longest with the UV. We did some mock-up samples and let them weather there for months and months, and we found the best results with the Q-Tech product. So, and like Carol said, we were able to match the profiles with this interior walnut that we used on the inside, and it turned out to be a good experience, and I would definitely use it again. Again, our installer had used this product before, and he was a key in Burmauer construction in getting it to look the way it does. But you definitely need some good craftsmen on it, but it's a product that works well.
Tom, let me ask you, did you hire your installer due to the fact that he's installed this before, or is he typically one of your installers?
That was one of his one of the criteria. Yes, yeah. Having him had experience with the Thermory product and the PAX system was definitely pushed us in his direction for the siding. He also did other work for us here, phenomenal job with the framing and roofing as well. But knowing that he had worked with the system before that we had never experienced, just through some demos, you know, it was good to know that he had his hands on it and could vouch for it as well.
That's definitely helpful. Would you also want to touch on the detailing behind, say, the cladding product, for example, of the wall that you built?
The wall was comprised of obviously, you know, framed 2x6 wall studs, and then there's a zip system over that. So we have the half-inch zip plywood, taped all the joints, and then this system was applied to that. We actually, since the house was exposed for a long period of time, we were worried about the integrity of the, due to windows and some other long lead items from Germany. We were afraid of the integrity of the zip coating. So we ended up putting a layer of blue skin over that on the house. And then the pack system went over that. So the pack system automatically creates that drainage plane and air gap. We use screening at the bottom, which is not visible unless you get down and look up at the bottom of the siding, but there is screening at the bottom and there's the air relief at the top. So this material can breathe, or you can get airflow in and behind the system, so it stays as healthy as possible.
Awesome. So all in all, you use pretty integrated systems as far as the zip system, which is a pretty simple system. You use the extra Henry blue skin, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a peel and stick barrier that you typically apply over your exterior layer. And then, like you said, the pack system, which makes it a lot easier.
Right.
Right.
And if water does get behind the siding system, you know, you have that drainage plane behind it, so that moisture can, you know, fall down, and it has relief at the bottom to let it exit and not accumulate. So it's a, you know, I think it's a really good, you know, system that's healthy for the environment, you know, healthy for the house and for the longevity of the product.
Exactly. And I always say to anybody I work with, you know, it's not about necessarily if water gets in, it's all about that it will get in, and how do we let it out?
Yep.
I mean, it always gets in, right?
Speaking of water, it's starting to rain.
Oh no. Good timing.
Yeah, there's always intersections and joints. Not everything was a mitered corner. We butt up against, you know, custom aluminum against windows that we made custom, or Burmauer helped make these custom aluminum angles that we butt up this material up against. So, you know, there's room for water to get, you know, find its way in between the aluminum and the Thermory product. But, you know, we're confident that the substrate behind it is not going to allow, you know, the water to get further than where it's supposed to, you know, where it's supposed to be controlled.
Right, exactly. That being said, do you two, Carol and Tom, want to, I guess, even though it's raining, initially,
Let's go for it.
Tour?
Yeah, why not? Let's go before it gets really bad.
Hopefully everybody can see Carol. I'm gonna make sure that she's, here we go. My panelists, at least, since I can't talk to who's the participants, can panelists see Carol on the screen?
Well, I'm out here.
You're there. You're ready to go. Go for it.
Ready to go. So we're out at the pool house. You can see amazing precision on the corner. The pool house is more recently completed than the main house. We'll take you around, but it's beautiful. The corners are precise. Let me just turn my screen around and you'll get a look. I mean, the precision and the workmanship is exquisite. And again, thanks to Chris Burmauer and his the Burmauer team, and PJ, Tom, everybody who really insisted on most spectacular quality. And of course, big thanks to Thermory here. Your product really does the job. I mean,
that's a sexy corner, Carol. That's what
it is so amazing. Actually, I have one corner I have to show you. I'm going to go over to it. I call it the perfect corner. It's the intersection of so many lines. You just can't believe that it came out as perfectly as it did. Let me just get over there to my perfect corner. There's that. Look at that little guy.
Wow.
And then you can also see up at the top at the soffit, we had all the edges angled and the soffit is recessed back, and there's a little reveal detail. I mean, there's a lot of detail that went into the design of this, but it's all executed like with precision, and that Thermory product allowed us to be that precise. I mean, you can just look at it all through here. It's amazing. I'll let Tom speak to some of that detail.
Here, if you can see my screen, you can see some of the decking system that we use. These are panels made by Thermory, and we used a pedestal system underneath it, so these panels are, you know, lift up. This is actually an outdoor shower, so it does drain, you know, through the Thermory decking boards and down into the drainage. Here's the, you know, siding on the house with the lighting, and we also have you know, rooms. This is a changing room that we did, where we have the decking system on the floor, and then you know, the siding product on the walls, and some flat stock material to make the bench.
That's awesome.
And then I can show you some fencing that we did.
And then we're going to do some rail caps. But some of the, you know, just the way we were able to get the wiring and the lighting all beautifully centered on the boards. There's just a lot of detail throughout. So, Tom and I are going to go out to the main house now.
Tom, do you want me to show you or show Carol's view?
Well, show mine right now. I'll show you some of the deck. I mean, the railings. Here's some of the fencing we did.
Is that covering mechanicals outdoors?
That is. It's a generator behind there. So it's got gaps between the, that's flat stock, and there's gaps between. There's also the gate at the end of the driveway, which we did out of the Thermory material.
We've got that covered up patio furniture.
Some outbuildings. There's a bar, a garden shed out there. And then on the top up here, we have railing material.
We've got to put the covers on the patio. Okay, Maria, I'll take it from here for a minute because it is really starting to rain, and Tom's going to go put some covers on some of the patio furniture. So we have a little impromptu run over there, but it looks just as beautiful in the rain as it does in the sun. So these corners are several years old, some of them 3 years, some of them a little more than 3 years old, and they're as beautiful and perfect as the ones on the cabana. I mean, they haven't moved a micron. It's truly amazing. So here you can look at the pool house. That's where that perfect corner was. I'm ducking into the greenhouse for a second. In the greenhouse, we also used it to create a countertop. Our client has this beautiful naturalist environment here. The whole property is really designed about sustainability in so many different ways, including our client's passion for gardening, farm to table. They have a chicken coop. Maybe we'll walk over and get a look at the chickens because they're so cute. But in here, she's always experimenting and doing plantings. I see she collected a beautiful specimen over there. But this is Thermory too. And we also designed these custom planting tables where we inlaid the Thermory into the tops. So we have found myriad uses for this product. We love it.
That's an understatement, Carol.
An understatement, yeah, we love it. The grounds look just gorgeous. Owen van Sweden, Eric Groff, and his team did just the most amazing job planting. And I know our client also was, you know, really passionate about the landscaping and how the colors would change with the seasons. It's just stunning, just stunning. Okay, here we have, you know, some cable rail, and the caps on the cable rail are also all done in the Thermory. As you can see, the soffits as well. Perfect corners everywhere. Look at that. Unbelievable. They're all looking gorgeous.
We must show them the pool area too when we get
all right, I think Tom was closing the cover, but I'll get over there. Let me do that. Okay, so you can see the pool house. That's where we were all spending some time before. And before we close the cover on the pool, we'll give you a little glimpse. Not sure we're getting down to the other end of it though. Opening the pool gate. And here's this spectacular pool environment. Little peekaboo spa through the wall. And we'll just show you the end of the pool just because it's beyond beautiful. This is infinity edge with a glass end.
Beautiful.
Super cool, super beautiful. Little fire pit area. And then back at the house, all clad in its beautiful thermory and the pool house. I would say that this project was really a labor of love of everybody involved. We really all had such an amazing time working together on this, and the most fabulous clients. All right, Tom?
Yeah, it's definitely the team makes the project. It's from the owners to the architect to the project manager, who is Peter Hendrick. On the legacy side, did a phenomenal job here. So, and then all of our talented suppliers, Rings End and Thermory. You could go on and on with the sourcing that we did to get the right products on this project. So, we're extremely happy with the Thermory product for sure.
And I guess the next biggest question is, would you use it again?
Absolutely, we've used it and we
We're
love
already
it.
doing so.
Awesome.
And we'll continue to. So
I would hope that anybody that's listening and watching, if they ever would be interested in talking to either of you or both of you in regards to their own project and advice, I'd be happy to connect anyone with you guys if you're interested.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It always helps to have people that have experienced it, especially to this level of degree.
From
Right.
far enough away from Tom, I can unmask.
Oh, there you go. Stay safe. Great. Is that pretty much everything you guys wanted to show?
Yeah, I think we're good. And, if you wanted to open up to just a couple of questions, we'd be open to that.
Absolutely. Someone is asking how the price compares with cedar right now.
Ooh, that would be you. That's you, Maria.
A huge loaded question, Denise Von Dassel. Thanks for asking.
Kevin might have the best hand
There's
on
no
that.
price. Thermory is free, actually. I'm not sure if anybody...
It's free. It's free.
I would say that the price is worth it because the maintenance aspects and the lack thereof will make up for whatever the cost difference is in the long run. And I think we've found that with many materials over time. You can save money now, but then pay 2 years later to repaint or whatever it is, or replace rot. You get what you pay for. And I don't think this product was so different that it was, going to break the bank on it, but I would say definitely worth it.
Right. That's a great answer. I'd have to, go ahead, Kevin, I'm sorry.
Typically, I don't know, I think distributor Jordan is on the call right now, so he might be banging his fist at me, but typically our pine and spruce products are, right now with the cedar market, I think we're probably easily 30 to 40% more expensive. But again, you're getting considerable rot resistance, exceptional appearance. I like to say that it's the cedar of yesteryear, where you don't have the sapwood. It's basically, it has a very consistent appearance. It's very, you don't have that inconsistency in color and the sapwood and things. And then plus again, you're getting 20 plus years of rot resistance out of the product. So for 30% more, maybe it's, but it's lasting 50 to 75 or 100% longer.
That's a good answer. That's good. If I can add in another factor about today's current economy and current buying situations, and poor Tom can probably commiserate with me on this, that prices on wood commodity products and just products in general, because of what we're dealing with today, is out of control, if I have to use the right words. Right, Tom?
No, it's definitely, things are going up at kind of an alarming rate from what we're used to. So, have to be diligent in our price quotes and you know, taking into account the fluctuation in the commodity in the market.
Right, right. Yeah, then there's also a big issue with availability of certain products and species, and whether it's coming from our friends up north in Canada or not.
Yep.
There's a lot of different factors, more today than we've ever played with before,
Yep.
in choosing the right material. But at the end of the day, we know we're really choosing one of the Thermory branded products because of the way it performs, and it's the technology behind it. So if you're going to upsell to any of your clients, that's the biggest reason I always advocate for Thermory, and because of its performance. We have another question. What is the square footage cost of a project like this?
There's no such thing.
What is there a rough answer you can give for that? Besides a smile.
Now, we're not going to divulge the cost of the project or the cost per square foot at this point.
That's fine.
I also think square footage costing is really a not accurate way of figuring out the cost of a project, because there's infrastructure, every site is different, there's overhangs, volume of space. Like, I just feel like the whole square footage analysis, you know, depends on your ceiling height. There's so many factors involved that I really feel it's like not, I mean, you might be able to give a square footage of what a patio might cost, you know, or particular material, but when you're talking about a house, really tough. Every house is different.
Agreed. Agreed. What other questions do we have out there? Who out there has also specified or is specifying Thermory? I'd love to hear from anyone that wants to share that via the chat below. And Carol and Tom, maybe speak about how these great clients were really, you know, green, conscientious, and, you know, in regards to sustainable products.
Sure. Well, aside from us feeling that Thermory has many elements of, you know, sustainability by the fact of the durability of their process, you know, chemical free in that sense. The house also has geothermal, solar panels, the, I'll call it the mini farm with the chickens and the garden, sustainable landscaping to a great extent. There are a lot of elements here that, even though the home and the surrounding property is, you know, on the larger side, there was a lot of attention made to the materials and the choices so that it could be as sustaining and self-sufficient as we could.
Awesome.
There's also nature trails. There's a lot of things that reflect nature here. We also have a really unusual thing, is that the glazing on the house is bird glass. And that was done to help prevent birds from crashing into the glass areas. This was a first for us using that. We did a lot of research into that product, and we took some field trips, and it was very exciting to use that. So a lot of really innovative elements.
And the clients, you know, steered that vision that they really wanted to, you know, have as sustainable as possible, and at least carbon footprint that we could do. So our eye was on that the whole period.
Okay, we've got another question here. Can everyone talk about the differences with gem versus other floating decking and why this is superior?
Can that person be more specific about a floating deck? Are they referring to deck tiles? Because a deck tile would be a different concept versus what a gem joint is.
Right. Let's see if they respond.
I mean, if we're talking about the surface and comparing it to like a synthetic PVC type of a decking, I would say that this is natural, and any PVC product either has a little bit of a sheen or is slippery when you walk on it. And yes, maybe it has the durability and so on, but it's not a natural wood product.
Right.
So,
how about, I think they were, they just chimed in, more concerned about this concealed joints.
Okay, I think I'll try and answer it. If I'm not hitting the point correctly, just say so. With a gem joint, it's a structural joint, so there's special care in the geometry of the joint. So in the case of a deck board, and that joint lands between joists, that joint is designed so that it will actually lock itself and becomes structural in a sense that you can stand in the joint without a whole lot of deflection. What that does is, when you're not cutting all of those boards to land on a joist, it makes the install go extremely fast. And then typically our waste factor with our decking is no more than 2%. And a lot of times when people account for about 2% in waste, they usually have a little bit more. They have some more material left over. I hope that answers the question.
Right. No, I think that might. Whoever this person is, please chime in if we haven't answered you. Another great feature, I think, let's talk about, if you're using other materials, especially like a composite, for example. I'm a person that likes to go barefoot. Kevin, you and I had a discussion about this the other day about barefoot and temperature on your barefoot when you're walking on your deck or anywhere else for that matter.
Yeah, one of the neat things about our decking product is that the thermal conductivity of the wood is actually lowered slightly after the thermal modification process. So it doesn't typically retain heat like a lot of synthetic woods do. We've had a couple instances where with the high efficiency windows that can reflect onto the deck, but those are some extreme scenarios where anything would get hot in that case. But typically our product is very cool and you can walk on it very easily when it's in direct sunlight in the summertime.
Great. Kevin and Carol, you answered that question perfect, says our anonymous attendee.
Awesome.
Nice job. What other questions do we have out there? And while questions are coming in, I also want to make a quick little segue. Some of you, I know there's about 42 of you out there, but some of you were able to send in your mailing address. Thermory was nice enough to go in on these, I know it's backwards, these Rings End mugs. You can use them for wine or any beverage of your choice. I choose wine. So if you're willing to share your mailing address, if you're interested, Rings End and Thermory, we're happy to mail you one of these if you didn't already get one. So feel free to reach out to me directly on that. I think all of you have my email at this point, and I'm be happy to mail that to you. So my panelists, what else do we have for everybody? I'm going to just share my screen again just quickly as you drum up any other thoughts. I
just want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of this and speak about Thermory. It's a new product for us, like I said, and it's something that I would use and we have used since then, since this project. So it's it does it does need some maintenance. It's definitely not maintenance free. It does weather and fade over time. Some applications, people want that grayish look and don't even put any kind of a sealant on it. But it will require, like I said, this is 3 years and we recoated it, but it depends on the when the client feels like they want to boost it up. But
right.
It probably could have gone longer, but they wanted it to darken it up, and we did. We put an additional coat on.
Well, I think also to speak to that, the pool house cabana was just finished, and so to have them match exactly, the timing was such that it worked out to have them all coated at the same time.
Yep.
Makes sense. And I forget if we did talk about pre-finishing. You guys mentioned, Tom, you mentioned that you had this project pre-finished at the factory. Kevin, did you really get into that as much as far as how you're doing this versus a third party?
We work to our distributor, Russell Lumber, that Rings End purchases the product through. They have factory finishing, and it's going to be something that's highlighted on our website soon to promote the fact that having it factory finished, even if you're going to do a clear coat and you don't want, you don't want to keep the product brown and you want to let it turn gray, still adding a clear coat is going to help the performance, over the years, and at least in terms of, stability and, surface checking, cracking, things like that.
Right. Right. Nothing, on any product, nothing ever beats a factory pre-finish as well. So.
Yep, it's done on all 6 sides, and it comes, it's I would have a hard time arguing that doing it on site is going to save you any time or money. Just having it arrive ready to go and install it, it's already finished, is going to definitely save time on the job site.
And Tom, your experience with the receiving the factory pre-finish and getting samples of trying different colors and all that in the job, can you talk about that?
Yeah, obviously we did the sample process before, before we ordered and determined the color, that we wanted to use, and had it outside for quite a long period of time to see how it weathered. And we were, happy with it. The Q-Tech that Thermory recommends did in our sample, in our tests that we ran on site, also held up the best out of any of the others that we used as test samples. So, and then that's what we ended up recoating. When we did the recoat of the house, we used that same product.
Awesome.
There's a question that popped up that I personally would love to know the answer to, because the corners on that house are incredible, and we typically don't recommend that you use a true miter on an installation. And if there's something
the question says for the mitered corners, are these slightly opening with the thermal expansion? Does the whole system float, or is there blocking behind the corners?
No, there's no blocking at the corners. There's the pack system, either side, a few inches either side of the of it, but then
there are screw holes drilled in about 2 inches off the corner in the recessed joints in each corner, and I think that's probably keeping some stability there.
And keeping it locked onto the pack system.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can show you that if you wanted me to focus. No, or not. Anyway, they look great. They look beautiful. And I've done this on another project as well, and we had the same successful results.
Right. And Kevin, you want to touch on lead times, or Tom, either one of you, I guess, lead times on these products?
I can touch on that really quick. We have a warehouse in Buffalo. We also have a warehouse in Denver. Not that much of any of the material would come from Denver to service the East Coast, but we have a warehouse in Buffalo. We also have our distributor in northeastern New York, Russell Lumber, that services all the lumberyards throughout the Northeast, and obviously Rings End. Our sales goal this year was pretty lofty, and we've actually overshot our sales goal by about 30%. And
wow, awesome!
Actually, been able to be okay on most with inventory on most items. We've had a few hiccups, but when we overshot our goal, it was expected that we're going to have a few holes. But for the most part, the inventory is there. Our distributor picks up at our warehouse once a week typically, or they also receive containers directly from the factory. So I think lead times, if Rings End were to put an order in with our distributor, Russell Lumber, Russell would typically deliver within a few days, I believe. So in most cases, as long as it's nothing crazy or some exceptionally large, crazy quantity of material, I think you're usually going to be within a week to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks max for delivery.
That doesn't sound horrible to me.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
The pre-staining added a little bit of time to it, but yeah, it was reasonable.
That's right. I want to say that adds another week, doesn't it, Kevin? The pre-finishing.
I think it can be about a week to 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Jordan is actually chiming in less than a week for most Thermory products, 3 weeks or sooner for pre-finished.
Okay. That's not horrible. Okay. Great.
Thank you so much, Maria and Tom and Kevin.
My pleasure, guys. It's an
and
honor.
Lindsay behind the scenes from my team, Lindsay Rydell, and of course John Rupetti. And biggest thanks to our amazing clients. Really appreciate being able to share this with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to do this. RingSense, so excited that we can actually do something as different as this, keeping the world interesting and keeping our attendees, you know, trying to spice up the world a little bit with other than just a typical AIA seminar that we're doing and attending ourselves. So that being said, I hope to do more of these with some great architects and some great builders on our RingSense team. So look forward to seeing more of these hopefully in the near future from us and our great partnerships with vendors like Thermory and Russin. Kevin, we really thank you for being here. Appreciate you taking the time, and all of you, Lindsay too, by the way, thank you for helping to set all this up. Most of you or all of you know where I hang out. I cover all of our RingSense stores and locations, and I work primarily with architects and their clients in helping everyone become educated on the right products to choose and specify. I work heavily with all my vendors, especially my favorites. And you know who you are, all my favorite vendors.
Know who you are.
So, you know, I'm really there basically as a free resource, not to use my slogan, but I'm a free resource for a lot of you. And I work in conjunction with builders as well. So in support of my sales staff. So we thank you again for joining us. I want to just show one last slide here. We're always looking for new projects to show off and brag about on social media. So anyone wants to reach out to me directly or my marketing staff, Emily Beal, directly, we'd be happy to do that with you and kind of brag about each other. That's the way the world works these days, and we're always looking for some cool projects. And just to share contact info, this is the contact info if anybody wants to take a screenshot of this, of all of our panelists. Again, we thank you. We really appreciate the time and effort on this. It was a lot of fun, by the way, and I think we make a great team. So I from the bottom of my heart, hope to work on more projects with you guys in the near future.
Us too, Maria. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you all very soon. Stay safe.
All right. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.